Hi everyone, Kylie Feller here. I am a clinical counselor and life coach. So today I just wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about anxiety and your breath. Now, a lot of people who struggle with anxiety are not aware of the underlying systems that kind of support anxiety being able to be maintained in the body. So I wanted to create this video because I pretty much tell every single client that I work with about how anxiety shows up in the body and then how we can support the body in finding more calm, more relaxation. So the first thing that's really important to understand is anxiety. Well, it's a very normal thing. It's kind of it's warning us of danger or fear, and therefore it is linked into our sympathetic fight or flight part of the nervous system. So you can really feel anxiety in the body. Your heart rate goes up. You might feel tension, tightness. Sometimes there's some shaking, shallow breath. It's in your chest. It's like everything in your body is getting prepared to fight or flight, right? And that's this evolutionary system that has kept us safe for so long. So when there's threat or danger, we get prepared, right, to deal with it. Now, this system doesn't work so well in the modern world. So back in the day, when there was danger or threat, the system gets activated, fight or flight. Often this threat is external, so you're either going to war or there's like a wild animal, there's some kind of true threat. And so your body prepares, it escapes, and then it calms down, right? You see animals in the wild, there's a threat, system goes up, comes down. So the issue is, in today's modern world, oftentimes the thing that we have to escape from is our own thoughts. So that's why we have like chronic stress or anxiety that is so kind of debilitating to the body, because there's just no escape. Your thoughts are the lion now. And it's just like you're just chasing your tail around and around and around. And there's not a real kind of break. There's not a come down. So what the body needs is it needs to be able to access the parasympathetic. And that's that rest and digest. It's like that restoration. It's that healing. And like animals in the wild that have this fight or flight and parasympathetic, they have like an alert and then they come back down to the parasympathetic. If you've watched like deer on the side of the road, they're like alert and then they calm down, sometimes even shake, just kind of moving that adrenaline out. Now us, we don't. We just keep going. We live in this society that's just like go 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 go, and our body gets confused and our mind gets confused and it's thinking there's all this threat, and then we have this chronic stress and anxiety that is it's just not a place that we can sustain for that long. It results in a lot of burnout, and then you can fall into like that depression, right, where your body just really needs a break, so it just completely takes you out. So kind of understanding how this system works, I think, is really important to understand what helps. If you're like me, I like to know the why of things. So, and sometimes people with anxiety, they will get upset when I recommend this, but it's your breath that underlies a lot of this. And that's why when somebody's having some panic, like just breathe, calm down, and then people get really upset when they say that. But there's a reason we tell people to breathe, and I don't think even people really understand what that is when they're even saying it. So your breath is what is linked to your nervous system. So it is much easier to breathe your way into calm than it is to think your way there. They've done research and they can get people to breathe in certain breathing patterns, and then people feel and think certain things. So I'm sure you're familiar with that anxiety breath. Again, it's in your chest, it's shallow. When somebody's kind of getting into panic, if you'll notice when they breathe in, their stomach goes in. So their chest is going out, stomach is going in, right? You're like building up this like energy. But that is linked, that inhale, that is linked into your sympathetic nervous system, right? That fight or flight. If you inhale and your stomach goes out, That's your parasympathetic. So if you're having anxiety and the body has a lot of tension, what you can do is switch your breathing to breathe like you're in the parasympathetic, in the rest and digest. And this bypasses the mind, like that thinking mind, right? So what happens is if you're in true danger and you're running and you're escaping, you can't take deep breaths like that until you are safe. So we have consciousness. We can choose how we breathe, right? That is, if the hardest thing is remembering to breathe like this, right? So I'm going to kind of walk you through it a little bit, and I'm also going to create another video that is just the breathing, if that's just what you want support with. But I think that why is just so important. So when you take a nice deep breath with your belly going out, and then you take a really slow exhale, so almost doubling the length of the exhale as the inhale, and breathing through your nose, what happens then is the lower parts of your brain go, oh, call off the alarm. She's safe, right? Because it would be impossible to breathe like that unless you were truly safe. So when you're in anxiety, you're in that fight or flight state. If you can just remember to stop and take a couple deep breaths, life will get a lot easier. One other point that I forgot to mention is when we're in fight or flight, we also lose our prefrontal cortex. So it's that abstract problem-solving part of the brain that makes life a lot easier, right? Because oftentimes when anxiety is going, we're often in crisis. Sometimes there's, work stress, family stress, relationship stress, just like multitasking, trying to get things done. And if you lose that part of your brain, life becomes so much harder. So if you can remember, I just need to access some calm. My body needs to be regulated. You're going to have more access to more energy. You're going to be able to think clear. You're going to be able to problem solve. You're going to be able to multitask better, but you can't do that when you're in fight or flight. It's just making your life so much harder, which is why taking time in your life to tap into the parasympathetic, to truly de-stress, and no, TV does not count as de-stressing. Your nervous system is still very engaged when you're watching TV. So even though it might feel like mind numbing, your nervous system is still actually quite activated. So you're still not getting that parasympathetic. To get that parasympathetic, we need to change the way that we're breathing. And we can do that through even like having a mindfulness or a meditation or like a yin yoga practice or doing a yoga nidra, all these different things to just really do nothing, just allow the nervous system to truly relax. We really need it in especially this kind of Western world. And I think people really struggle with that, right? Which is showing just how much we really need it. So I'm just going to walk you through just a couple deep breaths. These breaths also, what it's doing is it's hitting what's called your polyvagal nerve. So it's your 12th cranial nerve, and it communicates between the brain and the body. And so when you breathe like this, you activate that nerve, and that's the one that's going to tell your brain and your body they're safe, call off the alarm, right? So I often encourage people just put one hand on their belly button or just below their belly button, and we'll just send the air. So first just breathing all the air out, and then we're going to send air into the bottom of your stomach, so into your hand. Breathing through the nose, feeling the belly rise, and then slowly exhaling the air out. And at the bottom of the exhale, just bringing that belly button towards your spine, squeezing all the air out, and then coming into a nice deep inhale. Stomach's rising, and from the stomach, you can kind of feel the air rising up into your rib cage, up into your collarbone, and then slowly exhaling it all out. It's like a jug of water. So now you're pouring the water out from the top to the bottom, squeezing it all out, and then a nice deep inhale, starting at the bottom. You're filling a jug of water, stomach fills up, rib cages fill up, maybe even your back fills up, and then slowly exhaling. And what can really help just even kind of focus the mind is to count the inhales and the exhales. So what's a good one to start with is just a 3 count inhale. So 1, 2, 3. You can even pause if you like. And then exhale for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Maybe pause for a second. And then another nice deep inhale. 1, 2, 3. Stomach is full. Pausing. And then exhaling for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pausing at the bottom, just noticing this space. And then we'll do an inhale for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pausing at the top, stomach is full. And then exhaling for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pausing at the bottom. And then inhaling for 4, 3, 2, 1. Fill with air, pausing. And exhaling for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Just noticing the body changes. You might notice your shoulders want to drop a little bit more. Maybe there's more space. Often there's like an instant feeling of calm. This is why I tell people to try it, to do it, to actually do the counting, to actually feel the air. And pretty much every single person I've walked through doing it notices a change. So it's not enough to just know about this and know about your breath, but you actually have to do it. And that is the hardest part. And your brain is going to tell you not to do it because it doesn't make sense. It thinks you're in danger. And so to breathe, it just won't make sense. And so oftentimes with people, I'll tell them to put like a sticky note on their computer, right? So if you're just like getting overwhelmed with emails, you're just getting really frustrated, just take a minute, take a couple nice deep breaths, right? You can do it in like 30 seconds, a minute, right? And even just notice throughout your day, if you can just start to breathe more, the inhale, stomach going out, that's huge, right? And you'll start to notice some more calm in your system. And it's really too bad we're not taught how to breathe like this at a young age. Sometimes if you play instruments or you sing, you'll know from like, breathing from your diaphragm. But it really just, it helps you out. If the more you can breathe like this, the more energy you're going to have, the easier life's going to be. But the thing is, starting new habits, it takes time. Your brain's not going to want you to do it. It thinks you're in danger. So it's just getting into that habit. Every time you drink some water, take 5 nice deep diaphragm breaths, right? Every time you go to the bathroom, take a couple nice deep diaphragm breaths. Just like start to integrate it into your life. Set up little reminders right on your mirror, right on your fridge. Sometimes I put a thing on the back of my phone that just says breathe, right? Just, am I breathing with my diaphragm? And it's like an act of kindness for yourself. It's an act of like self-love. You're showing up for yourself. You're nurturing yourself with your breath. So I hope that was helpful and you can start to integrate in your life. If you have any kind of questions about that or how it works or you'd like to know more, please just let me know. I'd be more than happy to support you. Thanks so much. Bye.